Okay boys, here's the shit show we got going on here. So we had a debacle yesterday cutting this hole. I made a mess of it. I gotta say, I'm really disappointed in the directions, instructions from this Snorkel Your ATV kit. There's pictures, some of them you can hardly even see. And this one, the picture was way off. The picture was way off. I put it pretty darn close to exactly where they said, and it needed to be back another ½ inch. I tried to fix it, tried to go a little higher. Well, underneath here there's a stupid ribbon here. What I've come up with here is I got a plate and everything fit like so. And then I'm going to drill the hole out where it's supposed to be. Like there's a couple self-tapping screws here and here. And then the rest of the plate, I'll use some little tiny bolts and nuts, and then I'll silicone everything in behind, and we should be good. So I'm just gonna try and see if I can't cut this slow, get it started. The big thing is that this might get too flimsy. I don't know. This is pretty tough plastic. Trying to be patient, take my time. I think this is gonna work. Yeah, it's coming through. I'm sure this is not the best way to do this, but okay. Okay, so I got that cut, and I think I'll just finish the rest off with a knife. Okay, look at that. So I should have enough meat there. And here's my pipe. Where's the peace pipe? Okay. Look at that. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's more better. Okay boys, what I went and did, what I figured out, I got my plate cut. I cut the hole in it as I showed you already. And what I decided is I don't need to do anything on the back side inside of here, because what I'm doing is I'm going to clamp the inside ring here is on the back side of this. The actual wall of the airbox is stuck in between the two rings. And I think we got a pretty darn good seal. So I put a self-tapping screw here. Down under here, I don't want to twist it out of the way, I put another self-tapping screw. Those two go into the clean air side of the box. So what I'll do is I will make sure I go in there and suck if there's anything in there with a vacuum, and I'm going to seal it up really well with silicone, and I'm really not too worried about it. It should be fine. So now what I can actually do is I can move forward in the process. Now I've got to figure out, get this lined up, how this goes. So you got to get this at the right angle. There she goes, something like that. And something like that. I think it's got to go tighter. Something's not quite right, not right there. I don't know. Oh, hang on, that guy's not even in the right spot. Hang on, there we go. That would be that guy in the right spot. So, this is gonna go like that. There you go. So I need this solid so that I can figure out, because as you see, in order to manipulate this stuff around where it needs to go, like you gotta get there's a lot of angulations, a lot of figuring out angulations. You're hitting the top of the fuel tank down here. Yeah. Okay boys, we're back. So what we got here, I've got this mock fitted up. It's not permanently installed yet, I still gotta seal it. But you gotta monkey around with getting this elbow the right direction, this elbow the right direction. It's kinda gotta go in this way, but when you go in, then it also goes up. And when you go up, show you what you're working with under here. So this is all wired together, and these parts are already all glued together. So there's two flex hoses. They're gonna go between here and another one that's gonna go to this other one that's imaginary because I haven't drilled it yet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill. I got one hole drilled. I got the other one marked. So that one went okay. So what I'm gonna do, there's a little bit of play in here where they can go. Again, follow the instructions that they say. Actually, that's not even the right page. Jeez. You have to decipher what it is they want you to do and then put it in the terms that I understand or what makes sense to me. So you're supposed to be able to lift this rack ball. The way they're talking about it, I don't know. So, alright, well let's get this other one drilled and see what happens. We're about to, as they say, get real. Okay. Well, I'm going to try and mark the center. That looks pretty good. Then I put my center. I just can't see what the frick you're doing. Hang on. Okay, we get some more light on the situation. This is tricky. How do you do it? Oh. Oh. Okay, I'm on the center of the hole. I don't know about you, but I feel kind of nervous. But I'm positive I'm in the spot I want to be. I just hope it works out. Okay. Alright, now we'll see. So this goes underneath, and then this threaded fitting here. Okay. Now, there's a couple other little pieces. There's a rubber gasket. Actually, I'll show you. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? So yeah, so parts come in the kit, and I didn't really know what they were. I eventually did find the instructions where it talks about it. So what we're going to do is there's a rubber gasket that's going to go on top of, it's going to go on top of the colored plastic, and then this spacer, and then you're going to have this other piece come down, and you're going to thread it on. And then you got to get the elbow underneath here, point in the right direction, and you're good to go. So this is just, got contact. Okay, we got contact, that's good. So now, okay, this guy off. Let's see, because these two risers slide together, which is handy. And let's see if we can't. Oh yeah, yeah, baby, I can work with that. Yes, I can work with that. Ooh, I'm happy. All right, fellas, gals. Hopefully, there's some gals watching. That'd be sweet. We're back here working on the Sportsman, getting the snorkel situation sorted out. I can't remember when I last started the video. It was a few days ago. Anyways, we're back at it. I've done a few things that I didn't get on camera. But, okay, so let's start with that. So the vent lines normally just run up underneath the light pod here. I'm going to leave this one here because it's for the fuel tank, I think, or I'm not sure what it is. But it's got a one-way valve on it up in there, so I'm just going to leave it because That's pretty darn good for where I'm hoping to get through. Hopefully I don't ever get my that deep, but you know what? It gives you a safety margin. So I took the other 2 lines that were up here, pulled them down. Once I figured out the best way to route them along here, just go underneath. I got some couplers or unions or whatever you want to call them, and we're good to go. I drilled holes in the plastic, so they're going to come up. One more vent for the front diff over there. It's going to do the same thing on the far side. So where we are here, the last time I had you in the shop, I was telling you about how I showed you how I really screwed this hole up. And you know, it's really my fault, but the instructions and directions from my kit for this snorkel, they were not good. You know, my model's a little bit older. It still applies, but yeah, I'm not happy with it overall. But it is still partly my fault because I should have double, triple checked what made sense to me. Anyways, so I made this plate. I made the plate back there. Got it screwed in. I got it bolted in. And I got her siliconed in. There's a silicone and there's a lock ring on there. Lock ring on the inside of the airbox. And we got her in position. So my next step is to glue these ports together. There they are down there. We got that Y, 2 pieces, a little elbow, 2 pieces of flex tube, piece of cake. Hopefully it fits. I did a teeny weeny little bit of trimming on the fender, just because, probably because of the debacle of what I had to do here. And I actually moved this pipe out just slightly, like even 1/8 of an inch, and that's what's rubbing. So, but it's still, everything seems like it's gonna fit and all the fasteners are gonna attach, but there's a little bit of tension on it. So I did a little bit of trimming and I think that'll do it. Now here's the other thing that this Snorkel ATV kit wanted you to do. This here is your coil pack for the spark plugs. What you're supposed to do is it just tells you to zip tie it to this tube. Well, that's stupid. This thing's heavy, it's gonna jiggle all over. Look at that, look at how much movement's in there right now. See if I can't get it a little bit better. But what I did is the old connector of where it actually screwed in, there was a whole bunch of little oddball pieces. I actually had to cut some of it off in order to make this whole friggin' fiasco work. Anyways, I drilled a hole in there so I could get my zip tie through and around through the existing hole here where the nut bolt was. Then zipped it through to the hose and some solid stuff there. I mean, it's probably gonna be pretty good, but I'll see. I don't know if I can't get another zip tie in there somehow to sort of double hold it, but the plastics are gonna help hold it in as well. Anyway, so the next step is we're gonna put this in and we're gonna get it glued together. First steps, we're gonna be gluing this PVC pieces together. Now, what they don't talk to you about is proper gluing procedures in the kit. I do have some pretty good experience with PVC plumbing. The way I was taught by an old timer, you always prime, you always clean, prime, glue, make your installations. You always want to try to get a rotation anyways to make sure you got a really good seal. And this is going to be tricky. As they say, there's no going back now. So we're going to get a little bit of cleaner on both. You want cleaner on both surfaces. Then our glue. Come on, get into it. And we get our rotation up to our marks, and it frickin' bonds fast, boys. Done. Should be a good joint there. Again, we'll use our cleaner. Ooh. Do some maneuvering there last second. I think we're good. Whew. So we've got to put this piece back in the rubber neck for the fuel tank. Nope, that did not go very nicely. Not sure what's going on.
Just hanging out in the swamp today. You know, what else are you gonna do? Found the home of the pesky beavers.